Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So if you read the title of this video, you can pretty clearly see that I am going to be making another systems design series. This one is just going to be for the questions for interviews, and we're just going to go over those. Now the first thing that should be in your head is, wow, Jordan, you're a real hypocrite, because this is now like the third time that I've said I'm not going to do this again, and proceeding to do it again. So I guess I should probably go into why that is. I think the 1.0 series, I had zero visual aids, and I don't think it was in nearly enough detail, and I don't think that I knew enough to really be talking through those questions in depth despite doing it. In the 2.0 series, I still don't think I knew enough, and I probably went into too much depth and over-engineered a bunch of stuff, and I think that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way on the internet. And now, I still don't really know enough, but I'm still getting better and better, and I think I'm also getting more accustomed to how people want to be learning, looking at other resources on the internet, and I'm going to try and put my content in a format that is more amenable to the learning of others, so that they can get maximum utility out of it, while also hopefully still applying some of the knowledge that I've gotten to pick up through some of these deep dives over the last, 6 months to a year. Because I think that's really going to help kind of augment the series a little bit and give people the opportunity to go a little bit further if they want to do so. As always, all of this stuff is going to be free to watch, and it's totally my goal that I want the videos that I post on the internet for free to be better resources for people than ones that people are charging hundreds if not thousands of dollars for. That's what's really important to me, and I care that you guys are getting a lot out of it. I will say that one thing to note is I'm going to touch upon the video format a little bit right now, because that's going to change a bit. I think one of the reasons that my videos have probably not been as strong as they could have been in the past is because I literally just didn't put in enough effort to them. I would just go and I would write out a bunch of shit on slides or on like some notepad, and then I would just talk through it and kind of make it up as I went, and I wouldn't edit anything. And the problem with that is that when you talk on the fly, you're sure to omit a lot of details, and you're sure to talk in a way that does not make a lot of sense to a lot of people. And I can see that being the case from just like the volume of questions that I get from people, and the volume of questions that are very similar to one another on each video, where it was basically just me going off on some sort of tangent. So that being said, one thing that I'm aiming to do in this new series is I'm going to script the entire thing. So it's going to sound probably a little bit more authentic. I'm going to sound like a bit of a tool saying the whole thing. But at the same time, if I'm trying to provide the most value for people, I think that speaking clearly and concisely is the most important thing to do. And the only way that I really feel like I can do that effectively is scripting. Another way that also helps me is it means the slides themselves, because ultimately I'm going to use PowerPoint and Excalidraw here. I think the slides themselves are going to be a lot more concise. In the past, you may notice that my slides have a ton of text on them and very few images, relatively speaking, and that is basically what every presentation expert tells you exactly not to do, because then people are going to get distracted by the text on the slide, they're not going to listen to you, and a lot of the content is going to get lost. So I think ultimately scripting this thing is going to be a very effective way of presenting, but another choice that I'm consciously trying to make is kind of introducing the problem a little bit earlier in the video. So again, if you go on Reddit or something and you see people comparing this channel to, I don't know, like Hello Interview or Systems Design Fight Club or any of these other Gorafsen or whatever, I see a lot of people saying that, I just go off on too many tangents, or that my designs aren't that realistic, or, they've never heard of Flink. Fuck you. But the point is that I think ultimately what a lot of people are looking for, at least to start off the video, is probably one simple design that is good enough to get the problem done. And it's very much true, that when you're making a design, you shouldn't design for scale that you're not going to have. And I've done that in quite a few of my videos. So I think I'm going to try and make a really, really conscious effort in these videos to, at least at first, only make a very simple design that is going to achieve the scale that is realistic for that actual website. And then from there, what I'm going to do is, kind of finish that part up for the video, and then either make a second part of the video or an entirely separate video that, just comes a week later, where we do a kind of deep dive, where we look at, the possible trade-offs between the kind of simple solution that I made and what could be done and what could maybe be improved if all of a sudden we got, another order magnitude more of read requests or write requests or something like that. I think for people who are really just kind of looking to dip their toe into this thing, maybe that first video would be enough for them, but for people who are, higher level engineers who feel like there's more to argue about or just want to understand more of the rationale behind the decisions that we made, I think that, having this kind of deep dive section and really, inspecting every single design decision that I tried to make will not only be a good way to foster debate in the comments section, but also just help other people learn more if they feel like that's something they want to do. And then for the people who say, you know what, I just want to look at a video and it's going to take 15 minutes and I'm going to figure out an answer and I'm going to, parrot this off in my systems design interview. Fair enough, I understand there are a lot of people like that, and I think that, I can make both groups happy in one series without really giving anything up that's too much. One more thing that I'd like to say is I don't want to milk this too much. I think it would be very easy for me to post basically the same video 8 times over and then label it as Messenger and WhatsApp and then a notification service and blah, blah, blah. And at the core, they're really all the same problem. I'm going to hope to cover pretty much all the concepts that people care about in these interview questions in the minimum number possible of videos. Because, it's just a waste, I think, to do anything else. Now, admittedly, I'm not really incentivized to do that, right? Because as long as you cover a separate system, and these are popular videos, which relative to my channel they are, then you get a lot of views, and, that just means more popularity for me, and it, feeds my fragile ego. That being said, I don't really think it's good for anyone to do that. And I think it's best that we kind of make the minimum spanning set of these videos and then kind of let them go where they do and see how that's working for people. And I'm going to, try and be open to the feedback that I'm getting, because I'm sure, especially after the first one, there are going to be a lot of things that people do or don't want me to do differently. And then the final thing, this one's probably going to be the most controversial, so much so that I haven't really even decided whether or not I'm going to do it yet, and we'll probably decide in a little bit. I want to make it so that the videos that I post are always free, because I don't really believe in selling, content like that. I'm not all that special, and I just don't think people should be paying money for it. But I will say, if you look at my channel, you'll see that I've responded to literally every single comment on my channel. That's not an exaggeration. I mean, certain comments I don't, because it doesn't show them to me in the YouTube creator comments panel. But every single top level comment that I get, I try and at least acknowledge and respond to, if I can. That's kind of becoming infeasible with 85,000 plus subscribers at this point, which is a shame because I actually really love interacting with you guys, and I'm gonna keep trying to do it as much as I can. But I also anticipate that these videos might be getting relatively more traction than some of my other ones, and given that's going to be the case, I don't know that I'll be able to respond to every single comment because I just literally have other things going on in my life. I may open up YouTube channel memberships for the sole reason of just letting me prioritize certain comments over others. I guess it would pay me a little bit. I don't really need the money, if we're being honest. I'm not going to pander and be like, oh, this would go right back into the channel. No, this is going to fuel my OnlyFans addiction. But again, just if it comes down to, well, okay, I can subscribe to this random comment or one from a subscriber or one from an actual paying channel member, and give myself an SLA where I'm like, okay, if you're a paying channel member, I'm always going to respond to you within a week. I think that's going to make this system a lot more simple for me and everyone else than it is just being like, I'm going to comment, maybe Jordan's going to get back to me after a month or something. And that's not to say that you can't comment, and I will never respond if you're not paying me for it. I mean, that would be ludicrous. And other people can certainly go in the comments and respond to you. I just hope that either it would thin out the comment volumes or, get me some extra money so I can go, spend it on drugs or something like that. So yeah, I hope this all makes sense to people. I think the PowerPoint Excalidraw style is going to be really nice. Everyone hates my handwriting. I kind of hate doing handwriting just because I have to make my handwriting better, and then it takes me a super long time to write. So I'm actually pretty amped for this myself, and I think the slides ultimately are going to be a lot more clean and concise for everyone to understand. Yeah, I think we'll see how this series goes. If it goes well, then expect me to be annoying about it and do some self-promotion, both maybe on LinkedIn and my OnlyFans. But yeah, we'll see where it goes. I'm really looking forward to it, guys. I'm going to try and put in a lot of effort and not just kind of one-take wing this and actually make good videos. And we'll see if that pays off for everyone. Have a great day, and I'll see you next week.